Finance Minister Tito Mboweni outlining his medium-term budget policy statement before Parliament today. It's not a full plan. It doesn't have full expenditure and taxation where the money is going to come from. It details government's fiscal goals and projections for the economy in coming years, also the risks that South Africa is facing. And it doesn't paint a very pretty picture. For more, we're joined by reporter Manelisi Dubase, who's been there throughout the day. Manelisi, thank you very much. So huge debt on one hand, very low growth on the other. Is that the source of all the pessimism today? We're even seeing the rand down by 3% a little bit earlier.
Yeah, absolutely, Francis. The situation is very bad. I mean, it's something we knew, but what we didn't know was the extent of it. I think the minister was very open and very honest about it. I mean, our growth focus is down to 0.5 for this year. I mean, you remember that in February when he was delivering his budget speech, it focused the growth at 1.6%, which means things are getting even dire, all the time. And besides that, we are at a point where our debt can reach 60%, of our GDP, which, if it arrives at that point, as the minister himself put it, is that, will basically, be facing what people normally call a fiscal cliff. We're not there yet, but I mean, if drastic steps are not taken, surely we're heading there.
What about the cost-cutting measures? Give us a sense of how parliamentarians reacted. Some of them will be affected by this. He was talking about MPs, public servants who earn more than R1 million a year, wages that have gone up, talking about most people now taking economy flights and cutting down on some other things. How was that received?
Surely from the opposition benches there was an applause. I don't know how genuine it was, but from the ruling party benches, I think it is still going to sink to members of parliament when they will be forced to use the economy class like all of us. And besides that, Francis, the minister informed us that the cellular phone bill of parliament, remember public servants that they are claiming from the government, is amounts to 5 billion rand. It says that will have to be considered also, which means that these roaming phones, when public servants take international trips, it might be the end of it. And the issue of litigations in government, I mean, it says that right now, this current financial year, the issue of litigations amount to 100 billion rands. That is a lot of money. So there are lots of firsts that is intends to cut in the coming years, including what we knew, the cars that they are driving. The cars now, every minister or government official will be driving a car of no more than 700,000 rand, including VAT. All those kind of things, he hopes that they might save the country about 50 billion rand this current financial year. And over the next 3 years, it can save at least 150 billion rands, which will be a welcome, fiscal injection to our country.
Indeed, and we'll get more political reaction a little bit later, but Manelisi, very quickly, just the reaction, the sense today around state-owned entities, which are one of the biggest risks to the economy, certainly Eskom. What was the talk following the midterm budget?
Well, it was a mixed reaction, Francis. Surely business people I've spoken to after the minister's speech was that, Eskom is a matter of agents. I mean, there's no longer debate that are supposed to be held around the issue of restructuring Eskom. They need to implement what Minister Pravin Gordhan announced yesterday as a matter of agent. But not only they, opposition parties in particular, and the minister himself was saying, for instance, instance, that Eskom is no longer going to get guarantees, government guarantees. They must get their act together. From now on, after this next guarantee, which they've already pledged, Eskom will have to receive loans so that they can pay them back to the coffers. So opposition parties were unanimous on that the issue of Eskom is a matter of urgent.
All right, thank you very much, Manelisi Dubase, live from Parliament. And we'll look at the investor reaction, we'll look at the rand and some political reaction at 6:30, and then a full panel with different perspectives analysing today's midterm budget speech just after 7 o'clock.